Welcome to this week's SciMon. I'm Jacques.
And I'm Swati of the Scientific Affairs team here at Illumina. Jacques, did you see that they found genes responsible for the adaptation of Tibetans at high altitudes? I think it's one of the best examples of human adaptation that has ever been reported.
Humans really reaching new heights.
Of course.
In a paper by Hirta Sanchez, they describe the sequencing of the hypoxia pathway gene EPAS1. This gene is known to be associated with differences in hemoglobin concentration at high altitudes and is strongly selected for by Tibetans.
Interesting. And what's also interesting about this gene is that it has a very unusual haplotype structure, which can only be convincingly explained by introgression of DNA from Denisovan or Denisovan-related individuals into humans. Now, I hadn't heard the word Denisovan ever until you mentioned it to me. So what are Denisovans, Jacques?
The Denisovan story is actually really quite interesting. It was originally described in a paper by Retief et al. In 2010. So it's very recent research where they discovered this. And the Denisovans get their name from the Denisova cave in the Altai Mountains in southern Siberia. The archaeologists discovered a finger bone and a couple of teeth in a 30,000-year-old layer. It's just amazing to think that they were able to actually sequence material that was 30,000 years old.
I mean, one of our episodes we talk about the Siberian permafrost and how you could, had this old ancient virus that they uncovered from there. So it seems like that's a great environment to look for all these missing links.
Yes, it's absolutely true. It's a very dry and a very cold climate, so it is a bit like keeping these samples in the freezer for 30,000 years, which is quite remarkable. But the converse is that they don't expect to be able to find this type of sample in places like Africa, where the climate is not conducive to these samples being preserved.
Right. And I think one of the reasons why they were so intrigued by these teeth is because they looked different from our normal human teeth or even Neanderthal teeth.
They were quite big.
And, what they actually, once they sequenced the teeth, when they sequenced the mitochondrial genome and later the nuclear genome, they could actually tell what they meant. That these were not Neanderthals, nor were they humans, but somewhere in the middle. Of course, they used Illumina technology to sequence, which was really fascinating.
But it turned out that the Denisovans are an ancient ancestor that diverged from Neanderthals about 1 million years ago. And they were in widespread distribution in Asia during the late Pleistocene epoch. They would contribute about, it's estimated, between 4 and 6% of the genetic material in the genomes of present-day Malaysians. That's amazing that before sequencing, all they knew about these Denisovans was that they had big teeth and at least one finger.
Why, of course. Sequencing can do so much more. Europeans, on the other hand, have a stronger Neanderthal contribution that may have helped them to adapt to new climatic conditions and diseases. This is something that Carlson et al. Get into about how they talk about the migration pattern of humans as well as how diseases traveled with them as they migrated and how certain disease resistance is generated in different populations. Now, Neanderthal-derived alleles confer risk for diseases, suggesting that Neanderthal alleles continue to shape human biology.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, it's time for us to go, but it's maybe time for us to get in touch with our inner Neanderthal.
Or Denisovan.
We're out of time today. Thank you for tuning into our show. Please feel free to reach out to us with questions, thoughts, suggestions, concerns, or any feedback. We love to hear from you. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.